Once again, we have the concierge to small business lending with us. He comes back each and every week. He runs Business Ownership Summit, does a lot of amazing things. But something he just told me offline is a lot of ORAT followers are reaching out to him to buy vending machines. I had no idea, but let's figure out why ORAT folks are buying vending. Bo, what's going on? Why are my followers buying vending machines? What is it about vending machines that are so attractive?
You know, when they used to say like cigarettes are a gateway drug or marijuana was marijuana,
Yeah.
right? Like marijuana is a gateway drug. Well, vending machines are a gateway drug to entrepreneurship. So what that
Hmm.
means is like it's the least threatening business. You get vending machines, they get located, and then the app on your phone tells you when you need to refill them. Okay, that's the business model. When you need to refill them, you go to Sam's Club or Costco or wherever you have the deals. You go replenish them. You see what's selling. You put in the higher margin product, and then you're looking every day at how many vends are going on, and if a machine's not performing, you move the machine to a higher performing location. So I've looked at this industry from a big perspective. So we work with, like, it's not a franchise, it's called a business opportunity. We work with a few of them, but I like one in particular. They actually will place the machines for you and they guarantee a certain amount of vends. So
Hmm.
then, like, you're going to get a minimum of 100 vends per week per machine. If not, we will relocate the machine for the life of the machine. So it's a very simple business model. The reason a lot of the corporate people like it is because it's simple and they get I'm not a CPA or tax person, so check with your tax person, but you can write off the machines year one. So 100% of it. So that's a big thing. So then, essentially you'll talk to your CPA, they'll tell you how to figure it out against your earned income, all that good stuff. So it's very simple, very scalable business. And you can finance them with SBA financing if done right. So
So let me
uh,
let me just kind of paint the picture what I see happening. So we have a lot of people that watch one rental at a time that are high income earners. And a lot of what they're thinking about is how do they have tax efficient strategies. Lots of them are buying real estate, some short term, long term, all of that. But I do think vending is uniquely interesting because there's physical component, which means you can do depreciation. Again, talk to your CPA. It does qualify for small business lending, which means you can get leverage. You have a provider that kind of baselines a return. And if it doesn't work for the life of the machine, they'll move it, which is really cool. Also, it doesn't scream time. Because again, a lot of people that follow my channel who make good income, time is the problem, not money. Time's the problem. So by having an app-based thing that says, hey, do this or that, and oh, by the way, you could hire a kid to refill them if you really wanted. Um, I think is a reason why, and I think your opening statement about this being a gateway, I think is actually really interesting because it is kind of the low barrier entry, not huge time consuming, tax efficient. And then if you like it, you can grow more. You could do this, you can do that, or it could be, hey, I see how this small business works. Let me do a service business, or let me acquire this or acquire that. It's a pretty interesting thing to think about vending.
I agree. And I've looked at a lot of different. I'm really into this because I look at it like I look at each machine as a door, a
Yeah.
unit, a house,
Yeah.
right? Like, is it essentially, if you go buy a house in the Midwest, you're going to get the same cash flow, and probably less hassle with the vending machine, and you're probably going to get better tax advantages with the vending machine versus the real estate, unless it's a short-term rental. So to
Mhm.
me, I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's really real estate. They're just units. Let's look at
Yeah.
it that way, and like, okay, and then I have 20 of them scattered throughout Las Vegas. I get the write-offs as I need more vending machines because I'm making more money on my other businesses. I buy more vending machines, and now I get some part-time person that needs something to do that goes fills machines. They make a couple bucks. It frees
Yeah.
me up, and that's what I do. And so there's companies and people out there that have built organizations where they have, like, I know they have 16 employees in their vending business. So you imagine how many
Wow.
machines they have.
No
So
kidding.
yeah, you can do it, and so a lot of people do this model, and so, like, you can do it yourself. There's some good training courses out where you don't have to do the necessarily this business opportunity. I just like it because they guarantee the vends. They've done placed ten
Yeah,
thousand.
makes sense.
Placed 10,000 machines. This is like It's kind of like, and then you get a coach too, somebody who's running the business, and it's like 5
So
steps ahead of
let's
you.
put some numbers on this, and we'll talk about this specific company. If you want to name them, go ahead. Doesn't matter to me. But let's put some numbers on it. If I was going to go say, hey, I want to get 10 vending machines, what is that? What's that ballpark cost?
Sure. So I'm going to be transparent here. If you work with this company, they're not a franchise. So they, obviously they get the machines manufactured for them. They're where they make money is in the machines, right? Like they get them at wholesale, and then that's
Yeah,
where they make their money, because they're not charging you 7 or 8% royalty fee. You're
right.
buying the machines. It's your business. So can you go out and find cheaper machines? Yes. The problem is you're not going to get the training, the systems, the
No,
infrastructure that this offers.
it's that other stuff. Because again, if you think about who's calling you from ORAT, it's the time component. So
Right.
they're willing to, hey, you want to make 10% on a machine, go nuts. I want the placement. I want you moving it. I want that level of service if it doesn't work out. Cause that's what I'm concerned about, right? I'm an employee at Google or Facebook or Tesla or Nvidia. The last thing I want to think about is, oh my God, my vending machine's not working. I have to move it. No, I pay this guy over here who guaranteed 100 vends. It only did 76. Move the damn thing. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, so if you do about 10 machines, it's a little over $100,000, 120 maybe, plus
Okay. So it's
tax.
120 grand all in, but you don't need to stroke a check for 120.
No, we finance 90% with the bank I work with on this program.
90%. So you only
Yeah.
have to come up with, call it 12 grand.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, talk to your accountant, but these are physical machines that may be able to write them off a big portion of that year one.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I love this business. I really do. The one component I have is like, okay, well, I have to service the machines. I have to go fill them. And that means I have to go to Costco, and then I have to go to the machines when they're low on inventory. So this, that's your one consideration, right? Once
Yeah.
in a while, there'll be a jam. You probably have a technician that goes and fixes jams. Okay. Other than that, it's a pretty streamlined business. So that's like the big consideration of doing this. Cause like, I think this is like what I'm finding now, Mike, is that like people are like, hey, I'm going to do this franchise, and I'm also going to do vending, because they're
Yeah.
like, that will get me away from the W-2 quicker, because that's a lot of people's plan, is escaping corporate to live the life and run the business the way they want to. So it's a good way of doing it. You can
Oh,
do up to 20 you can
makes
do up
total
to
sense.
20 machines. Now, I didn't know this. Well, but the product I told you about, we can do loans up to 150. So you're
Okay.
limited to 10 machines unless you have a bunch of cash. But we now have 504 lenders, because 504 also works not only on just commercial real estate. So if somebody wanted to do we'll call it a 20 pack, 20 units, the advantage of doing more now is you get a little bit discount per machine. Plus, the way this company works, the first time they locate and put, like when you do reorders, you have to place them yourself.
Mm,
So you're incentivized to like get a bigger order up front, because they're going to do all the placement for you.
right.
Now, the one other consideration I'll say is, look, they're not going to be able to place 10 machines at once. They have to find them. They don't want to have to replace the machine. It takes time to place the machine.
Yep.
So now I think they put a guarantee in, because people are saying, well, how do I know how long it's going to take you? So they're now putting like something in their agreement where it says, like, if they're not all out by month 7, we'll pay you X amount of dollars per month till they are. And essentially they know they're going to have it out, but people
Mhm.
were worried, like, well, I'm paying
Yeah. It
interest on
takes
this
forever.
SBA
Yeah.
though. So
Yeah.
this is really the transparent conversation of like why I like vending, what you're looking at when you do a business opportunity versus doing it on your own. You can obviously get cheaper cost of machines, but you're actually doing it. So like what I like is like, okay, well, if I do 8 or 10 machines, I learn the business, then there's independent placers I can hire that all they place for a living. It's like a whole industry. I've taken classes. I actually I was going to do it with my wife, and I was like, I like to learn before I do.
Mm,
I am an action taker, but I think you got to do a little diligence. And so
right.
I took this workshop by this husband and wife, and I think they built their business up. They were doing about $500,000 a year in revenue in their
Jeez.
vending
Vending.
business. Yeah.
Crazy.
So, I mean, okay. And just generals, what you'd want to know is what's the average cost of vend. So anytime somebody hits E2 and your candy bar drops off, what is that price? Is it 225? Is it 275? What's cost of goods? So cost of goods is generally, rule of thumb, maybe I don't know. This is just air talk right now. You're going to
Right.
do your own due diligence, guys. And the other thing, what you're going to do, why I like this business model, is you're going to call other owners and validate and say, hey, is this business for me?
Absolutely.
But you then figure out what cost of goods are. And so like, let's say it's 50% of, so if you're buying something, if you're selling something for $3, you're figuring $1.50 is the cost of goods sold. So these are the things that you're going to fact check when you're making calls to see if this is a business that you want to do. Nobody in the kind of business opportunity or franchise world can make earnings claims. So like, it's very important that you, when you're doing your due diligence, go out and ask these questions. That's why I like when I getting people ready for this. Here's your projection template. I'm going to sit with you. You can ask questions on how you're filling it out, but here's the questions you want to ask other owners, because I'm not going to make any sort of earnings claim, nor will this company. So that's how you start fact checking and really getting in. So that's why I always talk about why projections are important, because then it's proof in the pudding. Like, I've called 6 owners. They say the average vend that they're doing is 250 or whatever that number is, and they can start creating their projections. Then what you do in your projection, year 2, if plans go well, you're like, yeah, I'm crushing it. I started with 10 machines. I'm going to add two machines every quarter out of cash flow, or whatever that comes out to be, right? Like, you're going to finance some and you're going to put a little bit of down payment. So that's the equation. That's why people love vending. And it's a gateway to entrepreneurship. You figure about 1 hour per week per machine time commitment. So if you get 10, that's 10. If you have kids that are coming of age in high school, this is a great family business. Okay. And how cool would it be if your kids if you just kind of financed it with them, and it was their baby to build.
Yeah.
And how about they graduate high school and now they have, several $1,000s a month of cash flow coming in. And now they're not forced to make some bad decision and go to school without agenda of why they're going to school. Now they understand. They now can tell people, yeah, at 15 years old, I was running a vending business with my family. I understand profit and loss statements. That is powerful. This is what we need to do to our children. That's what I'm, baby Bo. Here you go. Here's 10 vending machines. Go at it.
Yep. I like it. I love it. Well, this makes perfect sense to me. You told me a lot of people are buying vending. I didn't get it. Now I do. If somebody want to reach out to you and talk about buying 10 vending machines, how would they do that?
OneRentalMeeting.com. OneRentalMeeting.com. One is spelled out. Just go there and get on the calendar.
Yep. He bought a domain just for us, folks. OneRentalMeeting.com. Book your 15 minutes. Go talk vending. Pretty cool. Thanks, buddy.